Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I say good morning, I say good afternoon, I say good evening. Yeah. Is it? Is it? I mean, congratulations if you survived. Sorry to hear it if you didn't. It's one of the wildest moves I've ever seen. Like, I went to bed last night and I don't even know what chart it was open. Might have been Launchcoin or something. Or Useless, and I was like, oh, I've left, the PCs on and yada yada yada. And I saw it literally like down there. I was like, is something bugged? What the fuck? Like 80% down from the highs. Like, genuinely, it was the Pico bottom when I came to bed, so I got kind of lucky in that respect. But yeah, just gone 10 o'clock. And yeah, it's fucked. It's pretty mental. I genuinely hope that people are okay, and that, if you did lose a lot of money, that it's one of those times where you just be thankful that you didn't, lose your life and stuff like that, and focus on the positive things in life, which cost nothing. Going for walks, spending time with friends, family, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've been through tough times in the past, and I can tell you it's not worth it. Over money and all that kind of stuff. So, that money was a part of it, a sort of third of it all probably, in 2018 when I got rinsed for like 70% of my portfolio. You know, I cashed out like 10x what I put in, but then it just went bosh, down 70% and game over. But, you know, I recovered from it. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed that you will, but, you know, it's the kind of times where if you've taken a big loss, if you've been liquidated, you've got the chance to reflect and see what you want to do, and really reevaluate things. You know, at the end of the day, it's done now, and it's finished. You know, there's fuck all you can do if you got liquidated, if you're still in spot positions, if you're still, you know, long. Like, I've got people who are saying, you know, well, I'm like down 60% now. What do I do? Do I sell? Do I, you know, hold it? Do you think it will recover? I think the big problem with like holding bags that you've either lost conviction in or, you know, things have changed very structurally, is that your trade thesis might be completely invalidated and all you're doing is like anchoring to what your net worth was up here and saying, well, if it goes back here, then I'm going to be fine. But if it does this, you know, would you take this trade now? Like actually on useless? Remove the my indicators, perfect. You know, on useless, like stuff like this, it looks really good, right? Like we swept the lows, we bounced really, really solidly. Like from a high time frame perspective, but like low time frame, we're facing into like a massive downtrend, right? You stick some EMAs on this, it's not going to look particularly wonderful. You know, until we start really showing a bit more risk on, yeah, I'm just kind of chilling. I did buy some Bitcoins around about this price, about 111k, so maybe I am a little bit above water on it now. But you know, I'm not hopeful. I'm just hoping that this was like an exaggerated local discount on a high time frame trend. You know, the big difference between like this and like the COVID crash is like if you look at like the COVID crash and you look at it structurally, you look at like what happened across here, yeah, like that on a normal chart is a good time to buy. Like you would say, we've had a cycle, we've run it down. That was like the capitulation event. You know, reaccumulation, kind of another cycle, bosh, bosh, bosh. Maybe this was the first kind of, if COVID didn't happen, you know, which is a stupid thing to say, but, you know, maybe this would have kind of trended higher because this was clearly like compression. No one was interested. It was like the dead era. And then we dipped into that. There was no liquidity anywhere, similar to yesterday's or last night's events. And, you know, that's a pretty reasonable place to buy on a 5-minute chart. A lot of alts just fucking got decimated and structurally aren't recovering at all. But like this is a good, in my mind, a good proxy of what happened, you know, slow recovery, not just a V reversal. Like it's gonna be a tough couple of weeks, I think, from a trading perspective. I think everything is just gonna hinge totally on what good old Donald says and how this China bullshit comes into play. You know, whether people come back on Monday when the market's open again and, you know, all the news is subsided. You know, this could be this, it could equally just be this. You know, I genuinely don't know. I don't trade stocks particularly, but, you know, it looks pretty fucking bleak, right? It's like the turkey days of Christmas. It's up only and then it's just bang, game over. Like, I don't know if this is the start of a downtrend. I'm willing to speculate on Bitcoin and that's pretty much it. I did buy some Fartcoin and Pengu and I made a bit of money on both, but that's it. That's for rotations, right? Like the rotations have been really, really good. So like, you know, that buying the lows and selling when structure broke was nice. Like I didn't buy down here. I was much later. I bought back here. And as you can see there, so it was a really nice rotation last night, but now we're kind of into the dust has settled, the mean reversion has played out, and to me, it's like the next week or two is going to be really 50-50 on Trump, and if we are, you know, in a trade war with China, as in the rest of the world, you know, the Western world is in a trade war with China, like, inflation will be rampant because they, you know, we buy all of our cheap shit from China, whether that's materials, products, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's gonna have a massive impact on the global supply chain, which is something that I think this is factoring in, right? And I think as a result, crypto suffering as well. And one thing that happens in crypto that doesn't really happen in sort of global markets as much is that when Bitcoin and alts start cascading, all the market makers just drop their liquidity and they just go, nah, I ain't playing with this. And so we go from, a kind of steady decline into this just absolute nothingness. There's literally no buyers and sellers in the market. I did a little scalp yesterday, like I literally hit market close on like 100k order, and it went from being up, a few grand to basically closing at a loss because there were no orders in the books. There was just nothing. Just like the candle that printed was just like this. It was a massive fucking red candle because nobody wanted to basically buy or sell. The books were just empty as fuck. Cannot this be high or low and useless on high time frame? Yeah, man, it certainly can be. Like, a lot of coins still look like shit. Even if you contemplate, like, yeah, they came and like retested some of these lows and like all this stuff. Like, that is, nice, but structurally, this still looks dog shit, yeah? Like, we haven't reclaimed this range. This is a series of higher lows pretty much, ignoring that one. It's like consistent sell pressure facing this down. Like, a lot of alts are just gonna be very difficult for people to get back on board, I think. And even if they do, it's gonna be like a slow and painful process, I think. And yeah, there'll be a trade as soon as, if you're a news trader right now and you're set up to trade news events, as soon as Trump says, this is all Gucci and we're going back to normal with China, as soon as that happens, you're going to get sort of like 10% insta candles across the board. It'll be one of the easiest trades you can take if you're fast enough. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, and obviously you're going to have to be here for that. But if you are terminally online and you're not trading news events like that, then I don't really know what you're doing. But yeah. Hello, Glassy Ghost Charts. Also, quite a few people in here for a Saturday midday stream. I know it's a little bit random. I just thought, you know what? Maybe we'll jump on. Oh, I've got a fucking Paragon logo from about 1997 as the stream thumbnail. Oh well, fuck it. Any good charts or nobody? It's beautiful on higher time frame. Nobody. Yeah. I mean, nobody's. One of those ones that, like, a lot of on-chain stuff doesn't look as bad as all the perp stuff. Like, I got a massive bag of BERT, full disclosure, blah blah blah. I've been tweeting about it for a long time. If you followed me, like this didn't really, like, there's not really much pain, right? Yeah, it dropped 31%, but a lot of altcoins fucking died yesterday. Atom went to literally 0, right? Like, actually 0. Where is it? Oh, maybe it wasn't on this exchange. Everybody needs consoling? Yeah. Futuristic 80 style? Yeah. Afternoon afterthought. Zach made new highs today? Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. Like, it's just mental. Like, the mind boggles on this. Like, how the fuck did that survive? Right? What kind of next level Crimea is that? Just like, what? New highs on Zach. What number of errors were made on wallets I have access to? Altcoins are dead. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of like, I don't know, I read a really good tweet the other day, which I kind of thought, that makes a lot of sense. And it was, everyone got really bullish into October, thinking it's going to be October and it's going to be Q4, bullish Q4. And we had a lot of really nice run, for the first couple of weeks of October, purely because of the Q4 hype, essentially. And everyone's positioned. But then what happens when everyone's positioned is we get a pullback. Now, in no way, shape, or form did I think this pullback was going to be like 80% or, as ridiculous as it was. But I've been pretty, like, I've been saying to people that my PNL's been like this for the last like 2 weeks, and I'm getting euphoric. Yeah, I'm getting like, I've had some really good days. I've had some really good trades. We've had some like little losses here and there. Obviously, that's part of the game. But realistically, like when you're like this, like I've had to say, and I've said to a few of my friends, like, I've got to start like fading my own euphoria, because it gets to a point where you think you're untouchable. And I took a really bad trade on Fartcoin actually, and I martingaled my way out of it. Basically, I was like, fuck this, I'm a big boy, bosh bosh bosh, I'll add more size. And I hyper traded this wherever it was, out, and I bottom ticked about 4 rotations and managed to bring my average down and out trade it. Right, I think it was this here, and I was like long in here, and I just like averaged in, brought my average down to about here, and then got out of it. Yeah, but like, look, if I'd have done that yesterday, I would have got absolutely fucked. I'd have been blown up probably. Like, that one mistake, just, thank fuck I made it here and not here. Yeah, it's mental. One little false move and you can be fucked. Just joined. Overall synopsis, market looks scary. Yeah, guess I'm a lifetime Fartcoin community member now. Yeah, hold me Charlie. Oh, I will, brother. Special mention to Plasma Top Blasters. It's been a rough time. Oh yeah, man. Trillions of bag holders. Holy shit. We'll come on to a couple of charts and thought processes in a minute, right? Like, I think stuff like, it doesn't really matter what you're looking at now. Like, everything is fucked apart from ZEC, yeah? There's a few on-chain bits of garbage that are doing alright because nobody fucking wanted to buy them, but nobody wanted to sell them either, right? Yeah, if you caught some of the lows, and like, this chart is fucking insane, right? Fucking insane. Like, I just don't know how to, like, how to explain this. Like, it is just mental. But you can see most of the mean reversion happened over here, right? And it was done. And I think now a lot of people are going to be anchored to their old portfolio values, their old position size, and all this kind of stuff. And that's a really dangerous place to be in, because you're trading to get it back, right? I think everyone, there's only a couple of people I know whose net worths have probably done this on this, yeah. Mine's certainly done that, and I've taken a hit, not as much of a hit as I could have done, obviously, but I've got some spot Bitcoin, I've got a few altcoins that are on chain, etc. Some of them have completely come back to basically entry, like anyone was at 60 cents yesterday, went down to 32, so 50% drawdown, and now back up. So happy days. That's one of my decent sized on-chain bags that it's a bit wrecked from that high, right? But it seems to be bouncing, which is all right. But there's another one where actually, back to entry, but that's a fucking first world problem, right? Yeah, Jesus Christ, XPL at 25 cents, 170. Whew. There's a big bit of me that's like, well, we had like an 80-90% drawdown on alts, so some of the reversions will be incredible. But I think a lot of those reversions have happened off these candles, yeah? And you gotta respect the fact that in a lot of these altcoins, like, they weren't looking good to start with. Like, we were in downtrends on a lot of them, right? ZEC was one of the only ones that was really strong before the dip, so I call it the dip. Let's call it what it is, yeah? Before the fucking annihilation. Like, yeah. Yeah, rough. Hope everyone's okay. Rough time for many. Hey, Komodo. Top in or not? 70k or not? That's a good question, and I honestly don't know. I'm putting things down to Orange Man and just what happens with tariff wars. So similarly to like back here when we had the initial tariff stuff, or wherever it was here, I can't remember. My concept of time is fucking terrible. If it resolves, if they come on Monday and say, oh, we had the meeting, nothing's escalating, it's all good, like, the markets will just fucking bounce. Everyone will just be rushing to buy back their positions, right? We'll be back at these highs. We'll probably be at 150k in a couple of weeks. Yeah? If it turns out on the 1st of November, China are just going to go, no, we're not supplying the world, fuck the rest of the world, then we're going to be trading down here. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a 50-50. And I don't want to call it. I don't want to influence your guys' thought processes and positioning on that, right? It's a big, big, big bet. If Bitcoin goes to 72k in one candle, I'm going to be fine, right? I'm going to be fucking annoyed. I'm going to be like, oh, shit, right? Crypto's GG'd. But I'm not going to be out on the streets. So, you know, it doesn't bother me. Does that make sense? And like for me, the calculated bet of buying a massive sell-off on Bitcoin, particularly when Bitcoin is actually held up pretty well considering everything else, yeah? Like, this has always been my line in the sand, this 110k. It's always been it. If you've tuned into any one of my streams, any one of my videos, that's what I've talked about for weeks and months and months. And I was like, well, you know, here, I was just about willing to kind of go, I think this is the bottom. Here, we didn't close below. And here, we're kind of going, all right, this is the place to bounce. And if we lose it and we start going down to like 108k, then I just fucking sell it all. And I just go, do you know what? I'll buy back at the right time. There is always, always, always another trade. So I don't think it matters to me personally whether we go to 150k next or 85k next. Like, there'll be another trade, right? And the massive upside, assuming you believe that crypto is going to keep going, which I do, you know, I think crypto and aspects of crypto will always be here. That if we do end in bear market territory and it's a fucking painful slog for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, which I think is pretty unlikely, there'll be some fucking great times to accumulate. You know, you buy a ton of spot wherever it works out to be, wherever we get that capitulation range, probably in the 50-60Ks, and then you run it back for the next fucking cycle. Perfect. You understand Bitcoin maxi now? Yeah, I mean, it was always a meme that everyone kind of forgot, right? But like I said, I'm not calling for that. I'm positioning on the basis of that was the local bottom. Yeah, so I bought some Bitcoins in here. We'll see. If it doesn't hold, if we come down and like take this, well, I'm out. I lost the trade. Oh no. Bought Spot XBL 2 hours before crash and went to sleep. Probably shaken but were obliterated. Yeah, unfortunately, man, that's the thing. Is like, you know, we've had some wild like pumps. I'm trying to think of like a coin that just like you get stuff like this. You know, you buy some Pengu in here, you go to bed, you wake up and it's like that. Or buy it in here, and you wake up and it's like that. Conversely, like, you know, you go in and it's like this. Yeah, it's fucked. Really fucked. And that's the point. It's like it's always good like to talk about risk management. I do it on most of my streams, right? It's largely because I'm a massive pussy. And I'm never in a position where I can really get like actually liquidated or anything like that. But like, I manage my exchange risk all the time. I manage my position risk almost all the time, apart from one little the odd fumble on Fartcoin and things like that. But yeah, Doge looks mad on high time frame, diabolical. Yeah, Doge is one of those things. Like, I know Magus, Trader Magus. For those of you who don't know him, you should know him if you're following me. Yeah, he bought a massive bag of Doge, and you know, you just look at these, like some of these charts. Yeah, it looks fucking wild, doesn't it? Like, oh, nice little structure, a nice series of high lows into just bang, just dead. Whole alt market taking an absolute beating. I think this is the thing, is like where do you buy now? And it's really difficult for me to say that, because like for me, all I want to do is play rotations. So all I want to do is, like, if I see a bit of useless strength or something, then I want to play that. But I'm not going to jump in to trades really aggressively. Yeah, Atom went to 0. When, you know, from a higher time frame perspective, it still looks like dog shit. What do you think is the RR of buying here? What, right here, right now? And the question is Bitcoin or alts. What are you looking at? Like, for me personally, it goes back to that 50-50 chance, right? I genuinely think it's 50-50. I think that everything revolves around this tariff bullshit. I think buying Bitcoin here is relatively sensible for me personally, because I think it's, you know, a massive discount from its true value, and I think that eventually it goes up and up and up. But equally, I'm not going to get fucked if it goes to literally zero overnight. So, you know, it's all relative to your circumstances, isn't it? I think a lot of alts are going to... I think this move is just so brutal that people are going to be skeptical about alts for a long time, right? And I think that this has probably scared the hose off. Yeah. Like, how do you recover from this? I think there'll be some nice trades, and I think it'll be a trader's environment. Do I want to buy and hold a fuck ton of alts? Absolutely fucking not. And maybe it's just because I'm a massive pussy, right? I have bought some Fartcoin, I have bought some Pengu, because both of them did really well from the break. But, you know, I'm happy to go trade some stuff, and I'm happy to go do some stuff like this. But the market does have to show me that there's still some strength left in it, right? I don't want to be the cunt who turns up to the party and goes, right, I'm buying here, and then it just goes like that and does it again, or just slow bleeds down, right? Show me a bit of strength, show me a bit of relative strength, and I'll jump back in. But if you can't show me that, I'm not just going to buy it because it's, you know, quote unquote cheap. I actually think that the most logical scenario is everyone is kind of butthurt by alts. We go back to a bit of Bitcoin dominance, and like this, yeah, we doodled this last stream, yeah. It's not the way I thought it was going to go, I'll be honest. I thought Bitcoin dominance was going to go up because Bitcoin breaks out of all-time highs, runs to 140k, alts sell off, people rotate to Bitcoin. I suppose alts did sell off technically, but you know, that's what I thought would be the driver. The prices were much higher. Turns out, no. You know, this was the sell-off before, this is the consolidation, this is the run-up. You know, markets tend to operate like that. Very simply, sell-off, consolidate, move up, or, you know, vice versa. Consolidate, break down, consolidate, break up, consolidate, break down, etc., etc., depending on what way the market's trending. But yeah, I think Bitcoin dominance, I think there's going to be like a risk curve shift. I think people are going to flood back. I guess the question series is like this. Do I think that people are going to flood into crypto as a result of this? No. Do I think that people are going to migrate into altcoins as a result of this, and like meme coins and high risk stuff? No. Do I think that for the people who are still here, people who are still bullish on crypto in general, that their mindset will change a bit and they'll go back to like basics and go to like Bitcoin? Yeah, maybe, because Bitcoin didn't sell off that much and there's still like an institutional bid. There's still a lot kind of going for it, and I think that, you know, denominating your net worth in Bitcoin has pretty much always been a smart idea. It's a bit sad that gold has outperformed Bitcoin year to date, but you know, it is what it is. And I think that there'll be a return to Bitcoin in general. I think structurally, a lot of alts look like shit, and a lot of alts are undeniably in, you know, downtrends. If you look at like ETH, it's fucking, you know, bearish on the daily. It's well under the EMAs. If we start reclaiming, that's when I'd buy. So to your question, going like balls deep on spot alts here, very high risk, but obviously very high risk. No risk, no rari, and all that, right? I'm not saying do it with leverage. I think we've just experienced the fact that leverage absolutely fucking teetotals people. But yeah, I'm on wait and see mode. Yeah, that's fair. Yesterday I switched to another sex Binance, didn't let me do shit yesterday. Any suggestions? I mean, I trade on Bybit for my centralized exchange needs. Existential alt crisis. Yeah, I mean, I think it is. Like, I am kind of, you know, I'm personally not losing faith, but I think I'm just becoming a Bitcoin maxi even more than I was, which, you know, is a shame because I'm a pretty good rotational trader on altcoins. Yeah, that's kind of how I've made a lot of my trading money, is playing rotations on alts really well, and I will still do that, and I will still, you know, go from alt A to alt B, but it just means that the more I see shit like this, the more I'm reminded that I just don't want to hold alts for any long periods of time. You know, I'll hold them for like what I consider to be a cycle, yeah? So if I can buy it in a consolidation, it starts breaking out, I buy it there, and then I can run it up, you know, X amount, sell it, and either roll some profits into BTC or just take them out of the market, you know, don't really care which. But you do either of those two, and that's great. That's, you know, you traded them, but I'm not the bag holder I once was. You know, I made whole videos on Rune on how it's going to $100, but you know, obviously it didn't. But it did go like 500x for me or something stupid. So, you know, sometimes conviction does pay. Thoughts on Pump? I mean, it's like everything, mate. It's fucked. And like, this is literally my thought on Pump. Yeah, like, show me that it's bullish. Show me that it's bullish. I'll get in for a rotation. Like, similarly to stuff like Pengu, like I bought some Pengu down here, which was like, you know, it's like 40%. I sold some up here, and now it's just, you know, it's just ranging. It's just ranging this little range. If it breaks up, same thought process. This is where you're long. This is where you get on, or you wait for a high time frame reclaim of like this 0.27, and you start playing that. Right. Look for things on relative strength. Zek has been ridiculously strong. What else have we got? AVNT, you know, there are nice rotations out there, but I'm not of the mindset of buy it and hold it forever and it'll keep going up. Shout out to all the broke unemployed brothers and sisters in the chat. Yeah. And hello, Lucifer. Bitcoin, join the alt trenches. Charlie, I'm tuning in. Hey, Grant Stevenson. Every chart looks the same. Yeah, that's it. Low-key bad vibes in this wipeout late into the bull market. Yeah, I think that's the big difference, isn't it? Is like, you know, from a cycle perspective, if you look at Bitcoin, we've been up only for, you know, a long time. Yeah, to nearly 3 years. So it doesn't matter kind of how you view you know, where we are in the cycle and all that kind of stuff. Like, unobjectively, this is quite late, yeah? Whereas when you had, like, you know, you're in a downtrend back here, it wasn't particularly attractive, right? It'd come up from the lows, yeah, nice little parabola, and then a big sell-off back to, you know, the start of the cycle lows. Yeah, we are nowhere fucking near that. I tweeted one of the charts that someone in the group put out, actually, which was this. I'll show you, because it's just, it blows my mind. Couldn't paste, it's too large. That's what she said. This. Like, that blows my fucking mind. Blows my mind. Like, talk about your fucking leverage flushes, yeah? Look at it. You can barely see it. And it's just nuts. Just genuinely blows my mind. Like, I talk about it, like, I talked about it last stream. I'm sure I talked about it last stream of, as your portfolio and your net worth goes like this, your risk appetite needs to go like this, yeah? And it's just, that is the complete opposite of that, yeah? That volume almost touched the candle. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's mental. But what actually tends to happen is the opposite. Because as the cycle progresses, and some people, their portfolios have done this, the people who haven't seen this start chasing it on leverage and like upping their risk profile exponentially, which causes us to get to this. But that's it. It's like we're now at blood in the street stage. You know, there's the Rothschild quote, isn't there, which is buy the blood in the streets, even if the blood is your own, which is, you know, almost like martingaling, but we'll kind of ignore that. So yeah, for me, the risk reward seems pretty clear on buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance has started an uptrend, obviously, because alts have just fucking died. Most alts are fucked. I think it's going to be really hard to get a narrative out of this. So like, oh, meme coins, we're all going to run the meme coins back. Like, what are we? Like, I don't know. How are we going to get that? How are we going to get a narrative that says, yeah, this is good? I just think the whole market's shaken, and it's going to be shaky for a little while. How is it possible? It's just, leverage apes, mate. That's all it is, and most of the time people have a chance to react to like new information and to like changes in structure. But like yesterday, it was so fast. So fast. Yeah, it needs confidence to emerge, needs money printing, needs something like that to like devalue assets in general and give people the confidence to enter very high risk speculative assets. Because if you can lose 80% of your net worth overnight, yeah, all happened in a flash unless you're all in cash. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky / listen to my balls. I literally said on Thursday, I think it was, I was like, yeah, I'm out. Sold everything apart from my spot BTC. Well, I'm done. Yeah, even stop losses wouldn't save you fully. Yeah, I know people who, they had a trade planned, they set their stops to lose like 50k or something, and then they came back and they were like, I'm down like 120. How the fuck does that work? And it's because there was just no liquidity on the other side. There was just nothing. Yeah, cheers, Grand. I mean, sometimes you get lucky with these things. Like, I got so lucky with FTX. I remember just randomly on a Friday night watching SBF have a debate with Eric Voorhees. And Eric fucking annihilated him. And he was just shaking and twitching with his little, like, tism, like, going off. And, yeah, I was like, why the fuck have I got a huge percent of my net worth? And I mean, like, I was like 60% probably. Like, sat in this cunt's exchange. I pulled it all out on the Friday night. And then Monday morning, it was, like, insolvent. It's like, what the fuck? The chances of me, A, being around on a Friday night, B, tuning into an interview, C, interpreting that in a way that was like, yeah, I need to take my money off, because that's quite an extreme response, isn't it? Just unbelievably lucky. And it's like like this week, it could have been very different for me. I could have lost a decent chunk if I was pissing around like martingaling out of a position when the market went tits up. But yeah, thankfully that didn't happen. I will check the nobody chart, but I mean, it's one of those that moves really weirdly. But it's a nice high time frame pivot. Like, really nice. Really simple kind of invalidation on all of it. Like, basically lose that level, and there's no point in trying to be bullish on it. Just hold above and hope the risk comes back and run it. Shout out to Bybit Maxi, 0 issues during the plebs rinsing event. Fucking hell. Ugh. Yeah. To be fair, Bybit was really good. Yeah, Bybit was great. Yeah, I think, like, for me, I'm just not rushing into positions. I'm gonna let the market show its hand. Like, I genuinely think that a lot of the narratives are gonna be like dried up, and it's going to be difficult. You know, we had a few months or a few weeks of like pure up only. We've now had a day of pure down only. Yeah, if we start, I'll play some breakout trades if they appear, but I'm trading, I'm in and out, right? I'm in and out. And I expect the rotations to be relatively weak compared to where they have been. Go touch grass, yeah. How do you recover mentally from a big loss? Any tips? I mean, it's tough because I haven't been through it for a long time, right? Like, not a big loss. In 2018, I didn't do a very good job of it either. Like, I went full on depression, like full on, yeah, like massive spiral. And how I dealt with it eventually was taking all my money out of the market, coming back with a plan, and like regaining control over it because it just made me feel better. But that's, you know, a very personal experience, not one that I'm like saying, oh yeah, go do that because it works. It worked for me. But yeah, it's kind of like the grieving process because you kind of first start off and you're shell shocked and you're in denial, yeah, and you're just like, oh, this isn't real. This I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be there again, and it's all fine. It doesn't really hit you that you've just lost like weeks, months, years of work, etc. And yeah, you kind of have to, you know, because I've had a chat with about 20, 30, maybe 40 people this morning in my DMs and stuff, and there's probably some here that I haven't responded to, but yeah, I've been you know, trying my best. Like the standard point is, you know, like I've got 60k left in these meme coins or this whatever, and my response is always the same. It's okay, well, you know, are you taking this trade here, and if so, where are you wrong? Because a lot of people will be like, all right, well, let's say I've got let's say I had a bag of Asta that I bought at $2, yeah, bought it at $2, and that's my line in the sand, yeah. Whenever I bought it, could have been here, could have been here, could have been here. What was my plan? Like, when was I gonna sell? Like, is it this? Well, now I'm holding this essentially, and it becomes really difficult. And a lot of people think they accept the risk until the risk happens, and then when the risk does happen, they go, "Oh, not really happy with that." And the thing that I'm trying to encourage people to think about is, are you actually happy with the risk now? Yeah. So a lot of people are like, well, it's fucking down X amount, I might as well just hold it and we'll just go again. Yeah. Yeah, one guy, I got 60k left in this meme coin, let's just say it's Asta, just for the sake of the fact that I got the chart in front of me, and I'm like, all right, are you going to put, if you walked into this chart right now, are you going to put 60k on this? If your answer is yes, great. Absolutely great. Then you're taking this trade, okay, and then the next question is, well, where the fuck are you wrong? Where are you wrong this time? Oh, well, it's only 60k, and it's like, yeah, but, like, it's still a lot of money, man. Still a lot of money. If someone walked up to me in the street and said, do you want 60 grand? I'd be like, fuck yeah. But I'm not sucking your dick. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have this, like, weird... You have this weird ability to kind of go, well, it was 200 up here. And you're like, yeah, but it's not 200 anymore, mate. It's not. So would you take this trade? And where are you going to be wrong on it? Where are you going to cash out? And do you accept that risk? And it's easy just to go, I don't give a fuck anymore, and toss it all away. But that's kind of to all of it, to lots of people. Grieving process, yeah, man. Like, a lot of people, like, what is it, the seven stages of grief? Like, genuinely. Yeah. Like, look. It's what a lot of people go through when they go through shit like this. Like, you're just shocked, you're just paralyzed. Denial, anger, revenge trading. Oh, if I could do this, if I could do this. Oh shit, I can't tell my family. I'm fucked. Like, this is shit. You know, I'll go do whatever. And then, like, that. I don't know. Maybe it's just some people. But who knows? He said anything to the missus? Yeah. How bad would you say people have been hit based on DMs? I mean, it's all relative, mate. Like, I know one guy who shorted yesterday. Yeah, he shorted. Well, he was short. He's been short for a couple of days, and he's been saying that the big sell-off's coming. Like, not like to the extent of altcoin's going to go down 80% or whatever, but the Bitcoin's massive. You know, it's due a like chunky pullback to at least like 110 and stuff. And he was annoyed that he only made, you know, 6 figures instead of 7. So everything's relative in life, right? So you got this mix of DMs of like, oh, I've been fucking blown up, and you got other people who are like, fuck, I shouldn't have sold it. I shouldn't have taken profit so early because I could have absolutely raped this trade. You know, and in my view, he still did, but yeah. But it's bad out there, man. It's bad. You know, I've had like 4 or 5 people saying they want to kill themselves. So, you know, it's all fun and games until you've got like real people. And I know we just tend to disconnect ourselves from like that fact because they're all just avatars and PFPs on the internet. But like, fuck, you know, there are genuinely people out there who are like probably going to kill themselves after yesterday's events, which is like really fucked up to think about. But yeah. Anyway, it was pretty depressing. Sorry, I wasn't. Yeah, just be kind. Just find some people and do whatever. Bro, I shorted all-time high after I saw XO tweets, but didn't have enough conviction to hold. Yeah, fair man. No one should be saying this person is right. Just check on your mates. Yeah, exactly. Just check on people. Just do a little whip round. Check in the group chats. Make sure everyone's all right. You might find that, you know, if someone's particularly quiet, that maybe they blew up. You know, a lot of people don't want to admit that they blew up because it's fucking, like, shameful if you're, you know, if you've been crushing it for weeks, months, years, whatever, and then suddenly one bad trade. There's a guy, actually, who Doc interviewed, which I'm looking forward to, who, what did he do? It was like long Aave or something on 2x when the COVID crash happened, or was it May 21, and he got liquidated for his entire account because he literally was on 2x leverage and it like dumped 60%. But yeah. Your actions, your decisions, your responsibilities. If you decide to blow up your family's budget, it's your fault and you should accept the consequences. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It's like natural selection. Doesn't mean I don't feel sorry for people's pain. You know, like, and this is why, you know, it's your risk, your reward. And that's why, like, whenever people DM me and say, oh man, I just caught this, like, you know, I invested in this because of you, like, and I'm now up like 500k, I'm like, yeah, that's great, you know, happy for you, but you fucking took the trade. Like, genuinely, some guy wanted to give me 250k on Rune. To be honest, I wish I'd taken it, free money in it, but I was like, nah mate, like, you fucking bought it, you held it, you sold it, that's you. I said, if for every one of you, if I took that for every one of you, there'd be 10 people going, I lost on this trade idea because I did it with 10x leverage. You know, like the guy who fucking liquidated himself, I drew a squiggle for a CPI. I said, I think CPI does this. And it, like, he went, like, long here on, like, 50x leverage and then got blown out down here. And then it ran up. And he was like, he showed me the screenshots and everything. I was like, mate, are you joking? Like, Jesus Christ. There is a little bit of me that's like, yeah, natural selection, survival of the fittest and all that. But it's still fucking brutal when you see shit like this. It was a good Paragon stream yesterday. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Shout out to Doc and Magus for doing that, you know, jumping on in the middle of the volatility. I would have done it, but I didn't. Well, I was there in the chat, but I didn't want to wake up the wife and child. How to change time frame in spaghetti charts? Do this, mate. Bosh. There you go. Easy. It's brutal because there's not much you can do, yeah. It's a whole season of myth. I mean, technically, we had alt season yesterday. Technically. You know, all these coins went like 2, 3, 4, or 5x in a day, boys. What more do you want? Like, that's alt season. What do you mean in reverse? No, look. All we have to do is buy the lows. Fucking, there you go. Have to have stink bids? Yeah, kind of, but equally, like, I know people who got wrecked on stink bids. Yeah. I mean, this is fucking mental. I'm gonna have to post that. If you long the atom at 0.001, you'd be a millionaire, right? Pretty much, yeah. Gonna be speaking about this for the next 5 years. Yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, you're gonna remember this, boys and girls. For good reasons, for bad reasons. Think they hunted someone, went to mute? Maybe, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of, like, conspiracy about all that bullshit. And, you know, people smarter than me, like Camel, like, he's like, yeah, someone clearly blew up. Because, you know, the level of sell-off on, like, all of these altcoins, like, everyone stepped away. Everyone stepped away. Do you see the wicks being filled for Bitcoin and large caps? As in, like, this week? I don't know, I'm not a big follower of, like, Phil the Wicks or London Open or Weekly Highs or anything like that. Like, I don't subscribe to those kind of thought processes. Now, I'm not suggesting they don't work, I'm just saying that I don't use that as part of my, like, trading methodology. I think that as a general principle for me, that we just have to see how, like, this magic 110k holds or not. And if we do something like this and then we go back under, I'm probably just going to cut absolutely everything and go cash for a little while and then reevaluate. You know, I can be wrong really quickly. We can do this, start trending up again. Or I can be kind of right in the risk-averse process and we crash down to 60k and then I buy all my Bitcoin back for half the price and we run it back up, yeah? I think that's probably got like a 10% chance of happening, but all I can choose to do is, you know, how do I want to react to all of this? And my current reaction is I'll buy the Sphere because I think the risk-reward's okay. But if we do start, like, coming down here, then I'm clearly wrong on my buys, and to be clear, my buys are about here, 110.9 and 111.1, I think, so averages out 111. But yeah, that's kind of all I can think of. Yeah, I think Win It Me are okay. I think he tweeted, didn't he, Evangi or whatever his name is. Someone blew up, so I said wait for the bodies, yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin could field tariff-induced stocks for the next few weeks, months. Yeah, like, I genuinely think that if you think about... So I'm no macroeconomist, right? Let's just get that clear. I'm not going to turn into a fucking macro LARP on CT, debating followers and all that bullshit. But my very simple brain says, alright, Charlie, right? You got fucking China over here somewhere. You got, like, Little Britain over here. You got big fat US, yeah? If these cunts don't want to send stuff around the globe and sell all that stuff to everybody and they want to just basically keep it in China, well, these guys are going to end up spending a lot more fucking money for all their raw materials and all that stuff because they're going to have to basically source from America or Europe or maybe like Russia, India, well, not Russia, obviously, India, or like Brazil or somewhere, yeah? So their costs are going to go up massively, which means they're going to be in an inflationary environment, which means they're going to want to suppress it as much as they can by raising interest rates. When you raise interest rates, risk on assets go down. So, you know, in very simple terms, that's how my brain works, yeah? If cost of goods and everything goes up over here, interest rates go up, asset crashes, cash is king, yeah? If this doesn't happen and they go, yeah, fuck this, alright, we'll trade with everyone, then all this fear has been for nothing, and this was a dip worth buying. And we just carry on trending up. But that's 50-50, right? And I'm not a macroeconomic expert, I'm not a political expert, I know as much as the next person on it. But that's it. There's no source in the Chinese to buy Bitcoin like before. Yeah. But equally, if we were like down here somewhere and this happened, I'd be inclined to just go fucking turbo risk on. But given that we're up here after like years of going up, it makes it so much less sexy. The risk reward for this is much worse than like down here. Yeah. On the bright side, everyone who's in the red is currently benefiting from negative funding rate. Happy days. Oh, Lucifer. You're fucking brilliant. Yeah, I mean, on the plus side, people have got some amazing tax write-offs. Fuck me, just think about the reduction in your tax bill this year. Fucking brilliant, man. Some people can even, like, write that off over the next few years. It's gonna be insane. Minimum wage, fuck. Yeah, that's one thing I do actually, which is I equate things with time. So I'm like, alright, you know, if I lose 100k, what's that? It's probably, you know, 6 months, a year, living expenses, whatever. If it's post-tax, then it's like a year, I suppose. Yeah, and you go, that's a lot of money. In a completely unobjective way that, you know, it's a year of your life, yeah? It took us around a year to get out of FTX crash. It was much smaller scale. I think it's small relative to like absolute numbers, but oh sorry, not. God, I'm tired. It's smaller in absolute numbers, but it's not smaller relative to the percentage of like size of the industry, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think. I think a lot of the FTX data is lost anyway, in the sense of like FTX as an exchange isn't included in most of the stuff. So people be like, oh, it's the highest OI ever. And I'm like, yeah, where's the FTX OI in your list of data? Because FTX made up like 40-50% of the market at one point, you know what I mean? Maybe even more. So the fact that like we're going, oh, you know, like OI was, you know, if this is an OI chart, yeah, up, down, whatever. And we're saying, oh yeah, you know, we're at the highest point. It's like, yeah, but that didn't include FTX. And then if you include FTX, you know, it's like this, maybe. I'm just making it up, but you get a point, yeah. FTX bought in a bear market and killed so many people. Yeah, I mean, this was the destruction, this was the consolidation, and then the rebuild, and then it was fucked. You know, so whether we do something like that now, don't know. Scary to think, though, that is a bit like this, because that was fucking horrible. But the real pain, to be fair, was here. But yeah, I'm gonna TLDR it, boys, and peace it out. I just genuinely hope everyone's alright. For me, I'm in some spot BTC, like I said. I do think that, you know, even if you just start looking at it from like divergence perspectives of momentum, you can see the momentum is starting to come back a little bit. You know, the kind of bulk of the sell-off is done. I think the bulk of the mean reversion is done as well, though. So I think if you're going for fresh rotations, you just got to find stuff that's strong. You know, we talk about like useless as an example. You know, that's a bit fucking pish, but yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at range consolidations, I'm looking at breakouts, offset ranges, if it's got some relative strength. Like, it's a bit late on useless now for this particular rotation, but yeah, that's kind of how and I don't know why I'm on like some fucking dog shit liquid maxi chart, but I am. It's one of those, pump funds similarly, like I wanted to clear like these ranges and go. I am spot long some Pengu and some Farcoin, but they are just like trying to capture some of the lows essentially. Look at this fucking liquid dog shit. Mental. Wish crypto would make a comeback. I miss the days like yesterday on a more frequent basis. Yeah. Trump crypto, yeah. Liquidation by USD value is going to be very different when it's trading at Bitcoin's trading at 16k versus 120k. Yeah. Yeah, no, thank you all, and I genuinely hope you're all kosher. First time watching live, hey Todd. Welcome. Welcome. But yeah, it's a bleak day for anyone, really. Anyone who was kind of long. Now, if you were short, obviously you probably had a bit of fun, but yeah, I'm not in a rush to jump back in positions. Time will tell if it's a good buying opportunity. You're probably all right on Bitcoin is my thought process, and then everything else we're just gonna have to see. Have to see how risk appetite comes back to the market, if at all. Stocks lost 1.65 trillion. Have to wait till Tuesday. Yeah, pretty wild. Keep in mind the stock market didn't get to react yet on yesterday's news, and one day is an off day. Tuesday should be funsies. Yes, should be very high volatility. So if you are, a low time frame trader and rotational trader, it should be very fun. But I'm gonna go get some rest. I'm gonna go see my family, and I'm gonna get away from the PC because, frankly, I'm even more burnt out than I was on Thursday last week. And yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday for a stream. Normal time, 7 o'clock UK. And in the meantime, stay safe and good luck. Au revoir.